Right, this house will be £20 for the line, £55 for the full house, bonus of £60 on 50 numbers or less. Here we go then, first number, any line.
Temperance Minister Reverend Solly recognised that the wealthier classes had places to go, but the working classes didn't. Upper class men had their clubs, and in the late 19th century, working men wanted their own place. Reverend Solly set up a group to achieve this. Solly said both married and single men regarded their club as a central part of their lives, functioning as a surrogate home.
And I tell you what they used to do, they used to bring their own food, which I don't think you see much now.
Still do it.
They bring cheese and crackers and things to eat, put them out on the table, and the tables would share. Yes.
Well, everybody used to have their own seat, whether they were in the club or nothing. You can't sit in that seat. If you go into a strange club and you sit in a seat, you can't sit there. That's Jackie's seat. Well, he's not here. It doesn't matter. That's Jackie's seat. You can't sit there. And there'd be big fights sometimes if you did.
And I particularly remember having problems when we booked groups. The groups did divide the audience, and in general terms, the young people wanted them on. But during the performances, the older ones were always shouting, "Pay them off!"
People from mechanics to taxi drivers deciding they could play instruments or do stuff on stage and going out and making a living.
What was your apprenticeship? That's what it was.
For the young ones,
you find out now, everybody that's done that apprenticeship in the clubs are a different type of musician to the ones you have now.
But a lot of them, the North East good players, started in clubs and learned their trade. It was one of the most difficult club areas in the country. It was renowned for it, so we could do it here.
You see with the comedians, though, you look at any top comedian and they probably started off on the clubs first. The lucky and the good ones went on to bigger things.
I went to the barber's on the Western Bridges Ferns this morning. I said I want my haircut like Boy George. He slipped away for 20 minutes. Look at that. I looked in the barber's mirror, I said, aye. I said, Boy George hasn't got his haircut like this. He said, he wanted me coming here.
There's plenty of work. And we used to do 10 shows. We used to do a week and then a couple of Sunday to Sunday. And then used to put in a nightclub for to make 10 shows up, you know.
This club here, the British Legion Club, it's like a little heartbeat. It keeps you going, so you can play places where it's basically, it looks as if you've got three heads, nobody's taking any notice. You've travelled 40 miles down to Saltburn or somewhere like that, and what for, you know? And then you drive all the way back, and then you need a good one to keep it going, keep your body and soul together, you know.
We used to have regular meeting places like the Crown at Tyne Dock, which was a bingo hall, but it was a nightclub as well. And often would go there after gigs, and it'd be like a musician scene of there was so much work about people working most nights that you'd end up there. In fact, you'd finish a gig, if you're a bit of a distance, you'd hurry to get back to catch a couple of pints in the Crown.
Well, we're talking something like a Tuesday, Wednesday night. You could have up to 10, 15 people playing on stage who've made it back to the Crown after their show. Used to be a resident Joe, organ and drums, and then next thing you know, there's a guitar, there's a bass, there's three singers, there's brass another sections. Guitar, there's a brass section, everybody heading back to the Crown.
And when that was finished closing up, then everybody headed off to Shah Jahan
for a curry.
Shah Jahan for a curry.
Used to have film shows, that was a particular popular one. Discos were all the rage at the time, but obviously we had the seasonal things like Easter egg competitions, Easter activities, Christmas. So around those times we would have different things.
We were part of a travelling pantomime company that did the clubs for 15 years.
15 years, from 97 was started.
Yeah.
Or just bands?
Just young bands from college, yeah. Drafted in to do a tour in Panto. That was just, we thought it was a 1 year thing. Ended up being 15 years, which was a great training ground for us as actors.
Yeah, it really is where you learn your trade, isn't it? When you go into the clubs, you don't know what to expect, you don't know what's going to be going on, and it's always fun. It's always fun to do.
But I do remember going to the Neon Social Club at Jarrow one year, and he ordered a pint and a half of lager and lime. And when I tasted the lager and lime, there was no lime in it. So I went to the bar and asked for a measure of lime, and he said, "Who are you with?" And I said, "I'm with my husband. He's just bought the 2 drinks." He said, "Well, you'll have to go and get your husband to come and get the lime, because we don't serve women at the bar."
The role of women in Working Men's Club, not what it used to be, completely changed. The men used to bring the women in. They probably never took them in the bar, probably brought them always into the lounge. Women are more independent nowadays. They will come out socially to meet other women. We have little groups in the club that can join into, but mainly when we have entertainment on, it's a safe environment in the club for them. So they will come out, and it's very much like a big family. Because it's a big family, they're welcomed into it. But all in all, it's a lovely little club for men and women, and women are a big part of it nowadays.
I don't think the kids these days followed in their father's footsteps like they did in our era. But it was things like the smoking, stopping. It wasn't a community thing anymore. Karaoke, or a load of little things all together, because it was always a live thing. You go to the clubs to watch a live band.
And the club was very much at the part of the community. People worked together, they played together, they socialised together. Now I think because industry is much more disparate and clubs have declined as well, they're loosening of the community links that people have.
Really different about now was people were out most nights. Now people go out once, twice, you know, sometimes 3 at the most. But there was things on most nights, and if there wasn't, they'd sit in the lounge and that with their family.
If you travel around, there used to be thousands of clubs, and there's just so many of them boarded up and haven't made it. You know, so they haven't moved on, they haven't tried to change.
It is quite sad, and people aren't going in to learn their craft. Like, you know, groups, singers, you know, acoustic acts, going into stand-up comedians.
No better place to learn.
You know, and stand-up comedy isn't in the clubs anymore. It's now it's going into the theatres, it's going into pubs, upstairs of pubs and things like that. So and you know, you're seeing comedians now who don't know how to handle a crowd. That's what the club's giving you.
I don't know how to handle the drunk man heckling them.
But smoking bans had a lot to do with it. I was doing a gig and I thought, where's all these people going? They were all walking out, you know, and then I went downstairs, there was like 50 people in the car park smoking, you know, and but I'm non-smoker, so it's good on your health as well.
What do you think of the show so far?
Well, it is home from home. They do come with the little pat lunches, or the cheese and pickles and biscuits and crisps and nuts behind the bar, and next door for a toasty. But, you know, they do bring it on night time, daytime, and it's all shared around. They all, you know, put it on the table and everybody's included.